See, take a look at this part here. A deer track. I cannot help but think about the ancestors and hunting. So look at this thing. Tina Turner hairstyle. They're simply the best. I just discovered the toilet. I wanted to speak about something for some time now, and I figured today is the day. I just started walking, and I was thinking, should I bring my walking stick with me or not? I didn't. I left it in the car, but right at the beginning of the trail, there is this lovely stick that was just waiting for me, a bit higher than I am, with a spear on top. Well, not actual spear, but you know what I mean. So it was just laying there waiting for me to pick it up. And now I have a new friend. So it seems for a reason I didn't want to take my own with me. I felt that this one was waiting. But you know, as I'm walking and thinking, I cannot help but think about the ancestors and hunting and surviving. It is Saturday, beginning of the weekend for me. So for corporate workers, this is where survival briefly ends. You are allowed to have brief few days to breathe, to doze off, and to think about some other stuff. And today I think about the patterns of nature, which is not exactly something I am profoundly good at or, knowledgeable about, but I cannot help but see stuff, and our brains are wired to notice patterns. Hey, birdie. So you know all the usual shapes of the leaves and the veins inside? That is maybe one of the things that gets mentioned the most. But it's not only visual, it's the feel of the earth you're walking on, or the piles of grass you walk on, the sounds that you make. Unfortunately, I'm near the road, so there are also sounds of the cars. See, take a look at this part here. This is possibly a deer track. I am not entirely sure. Is it or not? But this is how it actually looks like. And it's beginning somewhere over here. Actually, not beginning, it's or over there. Let me see. You can notice it when you just stop. Here it is. Here's the gap. And they are coming from over there. Most likely deer. Many tracks on the actual path as well. I think there were a few dog marks previously. It's interesting to look at nature now because everything is getting slowly killed, slowly begins to hibernate, at least, if not killed. Many dried and dead things, many leaves that are trying to stay alive but are clearly dying off. You can see that they are already attacked by some fungi or some other diseases because they are weak now and it's not their time to be alive. It's their time to change the color and fall off. What do we have here? I think this is some kind of pincushion, purple flower. Yeah, don't know if I pronounced that one correctly. I'm not sure really. Take a look at this. This is At first it looks like it doesn't even belong here, but it does. So look at this thing, Tina Turner hairstyle. They're simply the best. I think about Tina Turner too much when I see shrubby things like this. For some reason, may she rest in peace. But look, it's so weird. I mean, it looks like somebody just put something on this and it doesn't belong here. Of course it does, but you know what I want to say. Further, there is a Hillfort on the left. I never explored it, I was never there. I just noticed it on the map, and this is one of those quite random days when I see stuff on the map and I want to go there to see what is it all about. So stay tuned and we will see some more patterns. And look at these guys. Maybe I cannot catch it well with the camera, but they are quite big, quite tall, and on the sun they make this very interesting, you know, game of lights, let's say. I believe this is some kind of horseweed. And now, if you just briefly shake it, there's just, of course, a bunch of seeds coming out because these things want to replicate. It's very interesting how sometimes, you know, not sometimes, but quite often, point of view can change stuff. If the sunshine wasn't directly behind them while I was looking at them, they wouldn't be nearly as impressive. But now there is just something that makes them glow. So how do you actually get to this point of noticing patterns at all? It is stopping, being very slow, being curious, and looking around. I noticed that a majority of people, even nature-loving ones, when they go into nature, when they hike, they actually go with the herd, you know, like pack of chimpanzees or something. I don't mean no disrespect, because of course I'm also often going with my friends and family, but when you're with others, you need to entertain them. You cannot ignore them. You need to keep the pace with them. You're constantly interrupted. You need to, you know, if there are kids around, watch them. If there's somebody talking to you, of course you will listen and, you know, actively listen, hopefully, reply to them, and it takes energy. And then you do not notice the sound of birds. You do not notice the sunshine that, you know, has the weird effect on the horseweed on the side of the road. You don't notice it because you are busy socializing. And that's why I recommend to go alone wholeheartedly, of course having all the safety measures, and depending on the region and situation and everything, having them in mind, or take one or two very good friends that are maybe on the introvert side, and maybe you can make a deal with them to, you know, be with them, but sort of not entirely with them, so they can go and maybe sketch something or read a book while you walk around with the camera, or with your own books, or just your eyes and curiosity, whatever you want. And that is how you get to this. You don't get to this by, you know, being in a hurry. There is no way in hell you can remember stuff and notice things and have the time for them to engrave in your memory, to have an impact on your emotions or anything else, if you're in a hurry, if you're busy with something else. So leaving the horseweed there and moving towards the Hillfort. And if you go just a bit over here, we are entering a different mini world with mushrooms. See this little guy here? I believe, let me see, no, it's not, I don't know, I'm not sure what it is. It is cute nonetheless. It's very young, it's in good condition. Could be also very poisonous for all I know. I don't know every single mushroom, of course, and a lot of the other ones. Let me take a closer look here. Here they are. And while we are here, we can also see the patterns on this ivy that's growing around. I think it's called ivy, I'm not sure. If not, you will excuse me and I will correct myself on the screen. Look at this. Now, it's not necessarily that you will make a scientific discovery like this, but you will notice stuff, think about them, and some stuff you see you can actually connect with stuff that's on your mind and that's going on in your life, which makes it easier for you to relax or to even sort some inner conflicts or stuff. I know it's definitely been the case for me. Wow, I get winded so easily. It's November. Day is not too long, so I'll proceed. Well, speaking of patterns, I just discovered a toilet. This is a perfect toilet. I mean, look at this. This is a toilet seat. Here's my stick and hand for reference. This is perfect. The only thing that's not so perfect about it is there are probably mosquito larvae inside and possibly something else too, but you know, if you gotta go, you have to risk. Weird tree. And there is a lot of mushrooms right next to it, so one over here, one there, one here. I won't go deep into identification now, but you can certainly see that mosquitoes had a place to breed here because it's a bit warmer here, even though it's November, and I noticed a few of them flying by. Unfortunately, my greatest enemies. Bye, toilet. Might see you on the way back. We are slowly getting to the interesting parts. Piles of stone, wall-like structures, blocks of stone, pretty big ones. Could be natural, but just given the entire scenery here and the look on the map, it is highly unlikely that it's natural. And this could be some Iron or Bronze Age Hillfort, most likely. I will confirm it later on. But this is also the place where we talk about patterns. You know what to look for. The walls, the fences, rings of defense, being on a hilltop. You scan for it and you find it. Well, let's go to the top. It seems this will be quite interesting. We are at the top of the Hillfort. As I said, I will dig around and find out some data about this one. Look at it, a lot of stones just scattered around. And now when you look at this, something or someone seems to be digging here. Similar to wild boars, they dig something like this, similar to this, pretty much. But I cannot confirm it, I don't really know. This is also interesting. You can see there are two white patches in the grass. But one of them is a small pile of stones, and The first one, this is lichen of some sort. I really hope I pronounced it correctly this time. I never do. Here it is. Could be oak lichen, I am not sure, or something very similar. If it is the oak one, it is edible. Likely other ones are edible as well. But I didn't try. I don't want to. I'm not yet sure of preparation and all the, caution measures you should take. So look it up for more, right sources, correct sources to confirm it. But I was already wondering, where is that thing? Do you know, there is one plant that I meet every single time when I visit Hillforts. And that is, here it is. You thought it's not there? Well, it is here. Winter savory. You have to see it to believe it. This plant is stalking me. Or I know the truth is I'm just going on places where it thrives. But let's say it's stalking me. It's possible. You see this, I'm following the path of the, I forgot how these things are called in English, so I apologize for that. But these electricity stuff, installations, something. Oh, this is embarrassing. I cannot remember the word. But when they did put these up, they did have to, of course, dig a bit. And this is the top of the Hillfort. So I assume this whole area has been dug up at some point, more or less. And maybe it will be a bit more possible to see fragments of pottery or of something, anything else, if there is such a thing around here. Very hard to notice such things on this kind of vegetation, but you never know. And this is also one part of the pattern, not only geometrical shapes, patterns on the leaves or plants or stuff. This is also part of it. A big part that makes us human. See something, think about it, connect all the dots, and come to some conclusion, of course. In my case, more often than not, it is wrong conclusion, but okay, that's a topic for another day. Here we have some sort of a drywall. I wouldn't bet on it being ancient, but just looking at it now, these are some large blocks. This is not something that you can easily move. I mean, look at this block around there. Look at this one here. Okay, there are smaller ones as well, but whoever did this, ancient, medieval, or more recent, they had to be pretty much powerful, and it took time to move these around. Now, see, this actually, there is a path here, likely used by deer or maybe hunters. Let's go back a bit. All these shrubs and everything, it can get a bit spiky, and my ankles are bare. I didn't bring all the equipment I usually can bring with me, so need to be a bit more careful. Let's see, what do we have here? Wait. Something or someone was digging. Obviously. And there is tiny cute mushroom here. Wondering which one. But unfortunately I don't know the answer. it bothers me too much to, destroy it, just to cut it and see it from all the sides and then make assumptions about what it is. I would rather just let them be most of the time. So let's go around here. Stone. You know what? I can tell you one thing. I wouldn't enjoy being in the middle of a thunderstorm on top of a hill near this thing. I don't think that would be very enjoyable. Look at these guys. So everything here is so mushy and soft. And then there are some dried mushrooms next to this. And of course, some lichens. Again, they look like little stars. When you think about it, little light green stars. Maybe. Sometimes, actually, especially the Urnfield culture that is from around 1000 BC, later on, onward in these areas, so they actually burned their dead in urns, hence Urnfield culture, and oftentimes they would bury them in crypts, stone crypts, such as, this is not one I guess, but it's quite similar. The stones would be around this size, or larger, or maybe smaller, depends. There would be thin, so if you would move them, they would be something like, I don't know, this thick, more or less, and inside there would be they would form a small box with these stones. The area inside would be dug up, of course, and the stones would be laid around, mostly some kind of rectangular shape, and on top would be the greatest one, so it would be hard to remove it. I'm not saying I found a crypt, I'm just saying that something similar can be found when archaeologists actually are finding stuff. They would look something like this. And you know what? Even if this was one, I will just let it be. There is winter savory protecting it, so I'm not touching that thing. Of course, there are other reasons, just joking, but let's go further. It will forever be a mystery. Is there urn underneath or not? What do we have here? More of these things. Just different piles of stone. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Oh, is that a small nest? Let me just check this one out, and then I will tune out. I see the dark spot in the shrubs there, so I thought maybe it's a nest of something. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just fallen leaves. It's a nest. See it? I don't think it's used because it doesn't seem to be used for quite some time. There are dry leaves on top of it. See, it's cute. All the little tiny branches talking about patterns and survival and everything else. So must be some bird that nests in a bit lower grounds in the shrubs, obviously. Beautiful little nest. I wonder what happened to those birds. Hope their children and grandchildren are fine and well and alive around. So that is it. That is how you get to know stuff. Don't get me wrong, I am often with people, oftentimes just they are around me, not with me, while I record and stuff. I also enjoy going with friends and family. It's not that you have to be alone in order to enjoy these things. But I'm just saying that socializing with others and hiking with others is another type of enjoyment, different than this one. And for me, honestly, I like to mix the two. Maybe one more than the other, but I need both to feel good and content. But it works different for everybody, of course. Until next time, saying goodbye with my cool bamboo stick under the electricity pole, or however it's called professionally. Oh. I am inviting you all to consider doing something like this. Looking at this mushroom that just popped out with a bunch of moss on top of it. Be like the mushroom. Be like this mushroom if you're stressed out. Family, errands, business, work life. Be like this thing. Pop out from all those things, all those bad things, all the pressures, and peek through, even if for a moment, even if for a few hours or 20 minutes, peek through and look at the colors, look at everything. Think about everything and give some time for yourself. Cheers.